Hello everyone and welcome to the leadership race. We are joined today by the VP International candidates who will be running next week. This debate is presented to you by myself, Tom Abedi, your host, and Rebel, who will be packaging this whole debate and putting it out to all the students next week. We are joined by 6 candidates today. Ahmed was unfortunately not able to join us, but he will have the same questions and the same amount of time as everyone else to be able to answer the questions. For those who are joining for the first time debate, we will give all the candidates 2 minutes per question. They have prepared 2 questions in advance, and I have some questions here. But more importantly, we want you to engage with the debate. So please do send in questions, send them to Jenny, the moderator, who will be able to send them over to me once they are formatted perfectly so that all candidates can answer. So please refrain from doing firstly commentary, and secondly, try and aim for questions that are able to be answered by all candidates. So we're going to start off by giving all the candidates an opportunity to give their name, what they study, and what year they are in, and then we'll get cracking with the questions. So UJ, do you want to get started?
Yeah. Hi, my name's UJ. I'm studying business management and I'm in my 3rd year.
Great. And Dan? You're on mute, Dan. Still muted. Oh, there we go.
Hi, I'm Dan. I am currently doing my postgrad study in scriptwriting. I have started at Essex in 2017, doing my bachelor in drama, and I'm currently acting as USU services officer. That's it.
Yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much. And Philip?
Hi everyone, I'm Filip Michal from the Czech Republic. I'm in my last year of international relations and language studies, and I'm also the acting union chair of the student parliament.
Great. Nashwa?
Hi guys, first of all, thank you so much for coming to watch the debates and support us. My name is Nashwa. I'm studying Law with Human Rights in my 3rd year, and I'm the current ISA chair.
Great. And to finish off, Kanil. Oh, sorry, I forgot someone else. Kanil, yes, please.
Yeah, hello. My name is Kanil Dholakia, and I am from MSc Data Science with Professional Placement. Thank you.
Great. And Yi?
Yep. Hi, everyone. I'm Vishan. I'm from Malaysia, and I'm in my final year studying law and business. And also, I'm the current agent officer. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. So I will be asking the first question that you have all prepared. So what do you think you'll be able to bring to the role? Let me get the timer out before we start so that everyone gets the fair amount of time. This is democracy before everything else. So UJ, do you want to get started? You're still muted.
Yeah. So since I come from a different background, I'm an international student myself. I understand the struggles of everyone, and it's very hard to engage with other students. So when you come to a new university, you actually feel very lonely and like face mental illness in the beginning. I'll try to make them engage even more and bring creativity and make people feel at home. And I actually try to bring shortcuts in everything, making things faster and more efficient. I'm a fast learner, and I try to listen. I'm gonna listen to them, and I'm gonna speak for them. I swear I care.
Great, thank you very much. And Dan?
Thank you, Tom. So after working with the SU over the years, I believe that I am one of the few privileged ones who were able to have direct interactions with thousands of students from our community and its diverse cultural background. Throughout the years, I have noticed that there is an inherent lack of engagement from the students regarding many aspects of their student life here at Essex, aspects that might have direct consequences on their education and well-being. This election is a primary example. Although learning and expanding the horizon of our knowledge is the primary reason we're here, these things don't only come out of books and modules. Coming from a theater background myself, I believe that what I can offer for this role is a new perspective of how to engage with the student community, how to draw from the cultural heritages we all have in order to draw more attention to issues that students have been facing. I know it might sound a bit cringy, but I'm a showman. I believe that it's really important on how you show people that you want to start a conversation. There's really, if you really want to have a conversation going, you really have to make people wish to engage. And this is why I'm here. I believe that I have the outgoingness of interacting with people and bringing them into the conversation. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And Philip?
Thank you, Tom. Firstly, first thing that I would like to bring to the role is my extensive experience with the SU and the student parliament. Last year, I have stood for all of our international students in the parliament as their representative. And this year, as the union chair, my role is to make sure our parliament runs smoothly, every voice is being heard adequately, and all the elected officers are held accountable. Throughout my years at Essex, I also had time and opportunity to be part of multiple societies, and I have proven leadership and teamwork experience from the futsal team, of which I'm a treasurer and of which I was able to lead as a captain on multiple occasions as well. I'm a very hardworking individual. I'm not afraid of any challenges. I'm the first one in my family studying at university. Moreover, abroad, as you can hear, it's not my mother tongue. From my accent, you can hear English is not my first language, right? And due to the economic background of my family, I also had to, as many other international students, rely on part-time work, just to be able to study here. In the normal circumstances, I would spend about 20 to 25 hours every week working in local bars and restaurants just to get by. And yet I still managed to participate in many extracurricular activities. I believe that this further proves my determination to overcome challenges, my time management and organization skills. But the reason I'm sitting here today in front of you is that I'm also an international student who has been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. I know how you all feel. I had problems with housing. I felt lonely and homesick. I felt demotivated, and I didn't feel supported enough. But I'm a fighter, and I promise that if you vote for me, I will make our 5,000 students international community to be heard and listened to. Thank you.
Amazing, thank you very much. And Nashwa?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. So first of all, I want to say that I truly believe I'm as international as they get. I've lived in about 5 different countries aside from here, and I've just always grown up not knowing where exactly I belong to and where I would find a place to be home. And I know a lot of people have that issue, and they come into uni and they want to find a place that's home. And I will really, really be empathetic towards that, and I'll make sure to try and make this place home for them and help them find their home while they're at uni. Other than that, I think I'm definitely the most experienced candidate. I've been an RA for the last 2 years, my main job being making sure if students feel homesick, I'm able to be there and support them and make sure to find solutions for them, whether it's trying to include them and make sure that they're getting involved in societies, the events that I'm planning and things like that. As well as that, I'm the current ISA chair. Working within the SU in itself is obviously a really great experience for this role, but working as the ISA chair is truly the easiest transition to go into being the VP International. I work alongside Alex, the current VP International, on a weekly basis. I enter meetings with cultural support, and I enter meetings to try and start initiatives and things like that, specifically aimed at international students this year. So I wouldn't need time to settle into the role. I would just easily enter it and start making a difference immediately. I came to this uni knowing that it was a really international university, and I want to make sure that every cultural group is represented and celebrated, and that's what I would do. I'm someone that takes a lot of initiatives, and I'm currently actually working on an initiative called the Buddy Scheme, in which I've introduced in a lot of meetings, and it's within the Let's Connect campaign, and it will be published next week, where we'll be trying to pair up people from different cultures and trying to get them to connect, because this year has been so tough on that. Anyways, thank you so much. Yeah, that's all.
Great, thank you very much. And Kendall?
Thank you. So as all other international student, I have same experience. Whenever I try to get resource, I am not quite understand that like how to I access that resource. So I am struggling with that same situation. So as a international VP, I want to bring some clearance. I have like a short span of like studying over here, less than like if you think 6 or 7 months. So in this 7 month, how can I utilize myself and use university resources to get my best? So like many of international students are still not aware about all the resource, and it is quite hard to understand and know all the system how is going. So I want to simply help them and give a clarity to students uh, to them uh, I can help them. Uh, Sorry, that's it.
Great, thank you very much. And Yishan?
Thank you, Tom. So if I was elected as a VP International, I would like to make sure that every student have the equal opportunity to in whatever they are taking part of, and also due to my experience during my time in the uni, so for example, I was in the ISA last year, and also I involved in a lot of cultural activities last year, and it was really eye-opening, and I was able to, I would say, experience a lot of activities that I've never experienced before. And so that also, as a current Asian officer, I received a lot of feedback from Asian students around about how the uni can improve the learning mostly, and also due to my experience, I believe that I have the ability to work under pressure, as I work as a so basically I've worked. I can work under pressure despite having different roles. For example, last year I worked as a student conduct committee member panel, and also ISA marketing officer. And yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you very much. For the second question that you all prepared, obviously the pandemic has been really difficult for a lot of the students, and particularly the international students. But what do you think are the biggest issues that students are facing at the moment? We'll keep the same order. So UJ.
Yeah. So since you mentioned about the pandemic, it has been really difficult for international students to go back home, and they've been stuck here who actually wanted to go back home as well. I feel like they've been facing mental illness here, and I could do something about it. I want to listen to them. And if they need a friend, I'm here. And I feel like they don't have anything to do right now. I wanna engage them somehow, even though at home they wanna like maybe Zoom meetings, not Zoom meetings like the casual ones like this, but maybe like through like Zoom workouts, or like making play them like poker or something online, anything like that to engage them, like to make things interesting for them and make them feel at home. And basically international students here, like, I know this is not my place to say who stays and who can't, but since we are lost, we might as well be lost together. That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And Dan?
Thank you, Tom. So one of the primary issues that the past year has opened our eyes to is something that many students, international ones especially, are dealing and had to deal with for many years. And this is a feeling of isolation. plenty of people have been experiencing social isolation well before COVID was part of the picture. The pandemic only helped bring this to the spotlight. People have been feeling secluded from their peers due to cultural differences, homesickness, income, or mental health issues. These have been around for many years, and it's sad that it took a world crisis to bring this into our conversations. Some students do not have the financial benefit of interacting with much of their student experience, and they have to work in order to get themselves through university. In other cases, feeling alone is something that is heavily influenced by mental health, and the mental health issues derived from the loneliness reverberate back into even more social anguish. What I mean to say is that the issues students are facing do not exist as individual entities, but are interconnected in a web of misery, where if you start confronting one of them, you'll soon find yourself facing 10 other issues. So the question is, how do you invite people to start opening up about their loneliness? How do you start to create those bonds between people? This is something that I've been working in the past. I have been working with theatre companies in order to address this need of addressing such loneliness, and using this experience to help our students is one of the reasons that I'm running for this position. So this year, the ASU has started to talk about this isolation, and although a Zoom event might not be the answer to help people connect with others, I think that at least we're starting to asking the right questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And Philip?
Thank you. We have been talking a lot about the pandemic, and obviously these challenging times has brought many issues and a lot of stress on all the students, on everybody around. But I believe that we international students have suffered disproportionately by this pandemic. As UJ said, many of us couldn't travel. Many of us got stuck here in the UK, including myself, months without seeing our families and friends, with only very limited opportunities to see our friends and make new friends here. The others couldn't travel to the UK. They got stuck at home, and not only they can't meet their course mates, their teachers and lecturers here at Essex, but they also have difficulties accessing library and other resources. Moreover, not everyone has a quiet and appropriate study space at home. Not everyone has a stable Wi-Fi or even their own laptop. And then there is also the problem of time difference. So Latin American students are taking classes very early in the morning, as far as 4 a.m. Our East Asian students are taking classes very late in the evening. And all of this combined with online teaching, which in many times has a lower quality than the in-person one would have, has a disastrous effect on our student experience as international students. So we are lonely, we can't socialize, and it's hard for us to get resources, and the quality of teaching is low. And what's the most pressing, I would say, that many of us actually pay more for the education than British students. And from next year, when the Brexit takes on, even every single new student who comes from abroad is going to pay more. These are only some of the most pressing problems for international students at the moment. I haven't even touched on the rent or the financial problems caused by unavailability of part-time work. I believe that loneliness and mental health are the biggest pressing issues at the moment, and these are the ones that I want to prioritize if I get your vote and if you elect me. There is more than 5,000 international students across all 3 campuses. Okay, I see that was all from you, Tom.
A bit more, but yes, that's okay. So Nashwa?
Hiya. So I think I really agree with Dan in the fact that the students being isolated and not being able to connect with others is probably the biggest issue right now, especially due to the pandemic. It's the reason that my campaign is based around let's bring everyone back together. That's my slogan, and that's what I'm all about with this position. I think to be a bit more specific just to the role of VP International, the biggest issue I think is that the fact that the international students are being overlooked as a whole. I think instead of moving forwards and supporting them and creating a good environment for them, I think the university is going backwards, and that's from my personal experience. I remember when I first went to a university fair before I came to Essex in 2018, the union advertised, they said, oh, you're from Syria, you would have a £3,000 scholarship coming in. And then when I accepted the role and the position, in 2019, I was told, oh, that scholarship is over now, that finished last year. So, you know, there was wrong advertisement. I chose the university as one of my top choices because of that reason. And then that was taken away from me before after I've committed to the university as well. When I first joined, I was under the impression that international students are guaranteed accommodation on campus for their 3 years of living on campus. You know, they don't want to deal with a guarantor living off campus and trying to sort all of these things out. Again, during my first year, that was again taken away, and that was the last year where that was possible. And so I had to, because I became an RA, it was all right, but a lot of students that I knew and friends of mine had to move out, live off campus, and had these personal issues that they struggled with. This is something that keeps changing, and you know, we're moving backward instead of moving forward. Hardship funds aren't available for international students nearly as much as they are for home students, and yet again, as Philip said, we're paying more than them. I think it's not fair and it's not good enough, because you know, it's almost that it's such a great environment that we're in, and it's so lucky that we're in such an international university, but the university should be benefiting us more. All right, that's what I believe in. Thank you, guys.
Great, thank you. Kanil?
Yeah, as all others said that like as an international student, we are facing mental illness and all the depressing thing, you know, like other than that, we are also facing like online lecture thing. Into that, like we have to put more effort, like at least double effort to learn all the thing. So I hope like vaccination is on the way, and we are see you at the campus soon. But after that, like as an international student, there are a lack of clarity. Like you when you come over here, there is a totally new education system, and you need to understand that like we have to do certain thing in certain way. So there is a lack of clarity. I want to bring that clarity as the VP International, and also like many of student which I talk to them, and they're facing same issue. That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Yishan?
Thank you. So for me, I would say one of the biggest issue that international students are facing is that the learning is inaccessible for most of them, since because of pandemic, most of them do not come back to UK, like to uni, and since that everything is online, they choose to study at home, and because of that, there's a times difference, and that, as Philip say, so some student has to wake up very early for classes, and I feel like that it's really unfair that international student has to pay like double the price, double the tuition fee, and get this kind of experience, like, and they can't even access to most of the resources that was provided by uni. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. So the next question is, wait, I'm going to take it from the chat. Here we are. What do you think the next year's VP International should do to make international students engage more in activities on campus? We're going to start with the end. So Yishan again, please.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Let me write it. Let's see. Oh, copy paste. This is multitasking for you guys. Here we are. So no, that's not the right one. Very sorry about that. It's my essay for. Very awkward. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, let's read that again. What do you think next year's VP International should do to make international students engage more in activities on campus?
All right, so I believe that as a VP International, he or she should engage with most of the cultural society, and also like provide them support to organize events for more students, like cultural students and international students. And yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you. And Kanil?
Yeah, we can do like in welcome week, like we can provide like various type of seminars that can explain what is education system of UK, and what is overall thing which can you like access during your university time. I know like it is on the university website, and all the thing, like there are videos and all the thing, but it is more convenient if we can explain face to face, and if they have a query they can ask. Thank you.
Great. Nashwa?
Hi. So I think one of the biggest things to do is to work closer with cultural societies. So being on the ISA, we have once a term meetings that the cultural societies would have to join, and we can talk to them with the ISA and the VP International every term to talk to them and try and see what issues they have. I think the issue with that meeting that we're facing with right now is that not enough people are turning up and not all the societies are joining. I think we need to make that meeting compulsory, and we need to make we need to advertise it even better using the SU pages, emailing students from different cultural groups and things like that. So we are making sure to hear the voices of everyone. I think when we received the as candidates the big plan for next year, I realized that there wasn't enough targeted feedback that came specifically from international students, and that's something that I would make it my mission to change. And through that, we would be able to connect students a bit better and find ways in which we can have them engage in more activities. I think it's also important to make sure that all cultural groups are represented, no matter how small, whether it's a community of 1 or community of 1,000, it doesn't matter. I have a friend that doesn't know anyone from their culture and has really loved to meet them, but I don't think there is anyone else from his culture at the university. And I think even celebrating his culture would be so important. I think it would just be this focus on, whether it's 100, I think there's 160 nationalities at the uni, and I think having 160 events is what we need to do. We need to make sure that every group is represented and celebrated, and that's the best way that we can get engagement from everybody.
Great. And Philip?
Thank you. So I definitely agree with Vishen and Nashwa about what they were saying. We definitely need to work on with the cultural societies and the international societies, because they are the ones who represent them. We need to get them more engaged. Hopefully we'll be able to do it on campus, because as we know, online it has been very difficult, which also might be the reason why Nashwa is experiencing the problem of the reps not coming to the meetings, right? So yeah, definitely what we should do is to advertise it more. Maybe not make it co-personal, as Nashwa said, because some people just might not want it. So we can't really force the people who don't want to be there to join it, but just to give everyone the same opportunity for their culture to be celebrated and to get them involved with various events across campus, either with the cultural ones or try to engage them in other events such as sports and other societies. It's going to be a lot about advertising and about engagement with various societies and various cultures. Thank you.
Great. And Dan?
Thank you, Tom. I do agree with the other candidates when they say that we should engage more with cultural societies and draw in feedback from them. I believe that this role has the ability of bridging connections between the different cultural heritages here at Essex, and we can really make a show out of celebrating them. I think that throughout the many years here at Essex, I have noticed that, especially with the way of how we approach celebrating these cultures, is that throughout the year we have one big event early on in the year, then there is a big pause in the year where we don't really see a lot happening on campus, not on a large scale, and then we have some other one later in the year, and that's pretty much it. I believe that we can come together and make bigger events, educate people more about the different cultures here at Essex, and this pandemic might prove a blessing in disguise, because starting from next year, should things get back to normal, I think people will be more willing to engage with what's happening on campus. So I think it's a really good way of starting a tradition of celebrating more cultures at Essex in a larger way. Thank you.
Great. And UJ to finish.
Hiya. So as everyone said, like basically throwing events, like that's normal. Everyone's like, that's what we gotta do. That's obvious. But what I'm thinking is we could actually be inclusive about it. Suppose I come from India, someone is from some other country, and they all have their own festivals or occasions. I try to bring all the occasional. Suppose if you have Holi, our Holi festival, we might call all the different cultures and be inclusive about it. And if we have Eid, we'll try to bring everyone, have a huge dinner for everyone, something like that. And maybe like if you have a Spanish Tomatino festival or something, we could like bring every other culture and just make them celebrate and enjoy different cultures there. And basically, I'm gonna try my best, engage them somehow, and give everyone a chance. Give everyone a chance to explore different cultures, since we pay a lot of tuition, and we might as well experience different cultures. You know, why not?
Great, thank you very much. So the next question is rather long, so I'm going to put it in the chat as well. For most international students, going to uni is the first time they are away from their homes and families. In normal circumstances, Welcome Week is probably the best opportunity for VP International to give a hand-on approach to connect and support international students. Obviously, that has all changed. So how do you see that the ways we can approach international students in Welcome Week from now on? Yishan, we'll start with you.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
I didn't hear this.
Yishan is starting first. Sorry, UJ.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so I would say that we should implement the family system. Like we can choose different students from different societies, and then different tasks, and then go and reach out to first the student, and also that I would say maybe add them to a group chat and ask them how they feel, and if they need any help, they can ask their family. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. And Kanil?
As I said, like most of like not aware about the system, so we can bring something like to spread awareness what they can do, and like there are like festivals celebrating in university. Like last thing I celebrated is Chinese New Year. So like many of are not aware about like university are celebrating this kind of festival, and I don't know what is normal circumstances when like Welcome Week and what the student do. But as of like I come, there was a lockdown all over. So I always like bring it approach in online. So thank you.
Great, thank you. And Nashwa?
Hi. So as I mentioned before, there's the buddy scheme program that we're trying to launch at the moment, where students would be able to be connected to people from different cultures. I think if I were to be elected, I would try and implement that immediately, and almost email the new incoming students with someone that they'd be partnered with from second or third year, so that way they can be paired with someone that's had the experience previously at the university, and they can be someone almost like a lifeline, and someone that they can be supported with. They have a similar system in Oxford University where people are paired with, they made like little families, and they have like a parents and they have siblings, and they kind of have, you know, you wouldn't have to do something so intricate, but it would be a matter of like pairing people in a group of 2 or 3 where they're able to connect with students and have someone that is there to constantly support them. Make sure we give RAs personal support and training in terms of making sure they're able to help people stop feeling homesick, and make sure that they are making the point of we're here for international students as well, and trying to help you feel welcome, and make sure that they're really pushing societies, cultural societies and activities, so students stay active and stay distracted and kind of active and immediately put themselves into all the activities and jump in the deep end at university. Even potentially have the VP International offer open office hours where students can kind of come into a certain classroom or anything like that, where it can be meet other international students, or it can be just come in and speak to me if you have any issues with your visa, whatever it is. They can be there with someone from the advice team, the SU advice team, and just kind of have things like that, and different outlines and lifelines where students can go to, and make sure that everything is advertised really well, and making sure not to forget about the second years that haven't had the experience living on campus and will probably have to come here and end up living off campus immediately, and making sure that they're also included and not forgotten about and provided with lifelines. Maybe even having RAs for off-campus students where they can go to someone from the university. Yeah, those are a few of my ideas.
Great, thank you. And Philip?
Thank you. So the Welcome Week will a lot depend on whether we can actually have it in person or whether it's going to be online. I really hope that we're going to have it in person, and we're going to be able to throw a lot of events for all the incoming international students, because that's very, very important, because they come here, usually they don't know anyone else coming to the university, they feel lonely, they are away from their families. So that's very important. We need to work with the cultural societies as well. That can happen throughout the Freshers Fair, for example, or multiple events. I believe, for example, like One World Essex, that we're having it later on in the year, but maybe we could push it forwards to the first term, so we get the students more engaged than for the beginning. Also, what Nashwa suggested, I actually very like that idea with the open office hours. That's something that's I think would be very helpful, because many students need some kind of guidance if it's regard the visa, if it's regard housing outside campus for second year students as well. Maybe they don't know much about how things work in the UK, so there should be a lot of support from that as well. And what needs to be also done is to be that the mental health guidance needs to be very clear, because I know that in some cases it's very hard to find the resources for that. Even though it has improved this year, there still have been a lot of complaints about how to access mental health, and that they are not responding to them, they are responding late and stuff like that. So we need to focus on that, because for international students, as you said at the beginning, and it was in the question, they are homesick, they are far away from home, and it's very hard for them. Yeah, that's all from me.
Great, and Dan?
Sorry, thank you, Tom. So I do agree with the idea of using that systems that are already in place, so cultural societies, and drawing in help from those societies in order to interact with the newcomers. The Romanian society has worked in the past with different agencies that help students from Romania send in apply for universities in Essex, and we've gathered information from them regarding the students that are going to come here, and then it was very easy for us to interact with them, and already knowing where they're coming from and what their needs are.
Keep going. Sorry.
So yeah, it's working on with the support from our communities, and providing them with the support they need in order to help the students that they come. Yeah, sorry, I lost my point earlier. I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you, Jay?
Yeah, so this is about Welcome Week, isn't it? I feel like we should be more engaging. Like, it's not about just having Zoom and stuff. We could like make people engage, bring them on campus, maybe like create bubbles for people to fit in and like, have fun or something like that. And so they'll be able to talk to each other and see each other, not just on Zoom. Make people see what's the university like, and maybe show them small instances, like create some stuff on the squares and make them see what's going around, how's everything like in university, show them how campus is like, make them friendly to the university, make them feel at home, and just enjoy in the first week, 2 weeks, just like we used to do.
Great, thank you very much. So the next question is concerning student parliament. Let me bring it up. So what do you think the VP International's role should be in student parliament, and how important is it? UJ, can we start with you?
Can you repeat, please? I'm so sorry.
What do you think the VP International's role should be in student parliament, and how important is it?
So I feel like a lot of international students have difficulty speaking to people. Like, I want to listen to them, however they want to communicate, and just make them go out of their comfort zone. Bring them closer to each other in a positive way, so that they can feel that this is not a place to be afraid of, and they can have nice things around.
Okay, thank you. And Dan?
Thank you, Tom. So this year has been the first time I've actually had direct experience with the student parliament, as I'm sitting there in the position as a SU services officer. And it was quite a steep learning curve this year, as I got in quite late in the year. But I've learned how important and how much the parliament influences the student experience here at Essex. So from this point on, as the international VP is responsible for representing the international community interests, and making sure that the international voice here at Essex is well represented, and it's well heard within the community and the higher ups of the university and the SU. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. And Philip?
Thank you. So the VP International is the person who should know the most about the problems of international students. He or she should know what the international student wants, and I think their role in the parliament should be to look at the bylaws, look at what can be changed and what can be achieved with what we have, and to introduce some new policies that can help international students to improve their experience at Essex. Obviously, I can't give you a proper example straight away from my head right now, but if we if we speak to international students, we gather more feedback, we can look into what we can change. And then for the VP International, it would be very important to work with other parliament members, maybe with like an Asian officer, BAME officer, international students representatives in the student parliament, to figure out a way how to improve the experience of the students, of the international students, through working with the parliament. So introducing new policy, or maybe amending some older policies, just to make sure that we are helping them to have a better experience. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Nashwa?
Yeah, so I think that in terms of student parliament, there needs to be a better system in place in order to realize what the issues that they're talking about are, where are they coming from. So like I mentioned before, the way that we received the big plan feedback of what the focuses are going to be on next year. As I said, there was no focused feedback that came from specifically international students, and even just I asked around from just my friends group and people that I know, and none of them were asked to give any feedback or anything like that. So I'm not too sure where exactly all this feedback came from students and where this is coming from. I think that it should be a better outreach to the student body, that every single person who is interested in giving feedback, that they are able to, and they're given that platform, so that the needs and what the focuses of the student parliament are taken into account, every single student and what they actually want. It's a matter of giving every single group and every single person a voice, and specifically just kind of working alongside having the sabbaticals as well as the student parliament, working together and liaising all the time to make sure that all the different resources are utilized and that they're working together. And as I mentioned, international students as a whole, I think, are overlooked. And as I touched on with the hardship funds that are unavailable to international students, and for example, if someone that lives in India or in Canada, and they have issues accessing Wi-Fi or a computer or a laptop, they're not able to access the support provided by the university, where they can loan a laptop or a computer. They just have to kind of deal with it on their own. So I just think that this matter of just international students being overlooked has to be a big focus of the student parliament as a whole, and the ISA representative and everyone that is involved, and that should be a bigger focus to make sure that all the voices are represented.
Thank you very much. And Kanil?
I think the role of VP International is a bridge between university and international student, and VP International is responsible for hard queries from international student, and properly represent to university and give a resolution to international student. That's it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. And Yishan?
Thank you, Tom. So for me, I would say VP International is one of the main person to reach out to for international students. And also I feel like VP International should make sure that student voices are heard in student parliament, and make sure that the problem are solved like immediately if it's really critical or very important, I would say. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll put the next question in the chat because it's a rather long one as well. So many international students didn't receive their CAS, which is the confirmation of acceptance for studies, completing all procedures like fees, interviews, and etc. These students face many problems. There are more than 150 students from only one campus. Students feel that they haven't received communication or support regarding this. How should the role of VP International and the role and the SU support these students? We'll start with Yishan, please.
Right, so for me, I would say that as a VP International, they should update students about the so basically VP International should update students about their CAS procedure, and also follow up with student. And also they should, if they found out that the student hasn't received their CIS, VP International should follow up, should send a follow-up email to the relevant parties, I would say. Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Kanil?
As I see, 150 is relevantly high number, so VP International or student union should focus on this matter. And as we can see, they are not given a CAS letter. So the thing is, without CAS, you can't apply for a visa and all that stuff. So I can understand that it is a big issue for international student, and we should we should talk to university authority to give some resolution, because it is a relevantly high number. Thank you.
Great. And Nashwa?
Hey, so I remember when I was waiting for my gas letter before I came to university, and I think it was maybe 3 weeks before university was meant to start until I received it. And I can empathize that it's a very, very stressful, and you're constantly nervous, and it's a very nerve-wracking experience waiting for it, because if anything goes wrong, you're not able to book your flights, you're not able to prepare yourself for your time at university. So perhaps if we create some sort of handbook to tell students what they can do to prepare themselves in advance while they wait for the CAS letter. We could even have a list of some sort that's created where there are direct pages and links where people can contact a page that can be in collaboration with SU Advice, who have all the information on visas and whatnot on the training, as well as the VP International, who they can work in collaboration to be a point of contact for the students who are waiting on these answers and are in this nerve-wracking process, so they can kind of have this support and communication, and they can know that before even coming into the university, they have a support line, and they have a place where they can go and talk to someone, even if we can't do anything personally as VP International, because it's obviously all within the government and the paperwork and things like that. It's at least providing that support and comfort that we really care, and we really are providing these students with someone to go to and talk to and try and provide them with some sort of comfort, that once things go well, that it will be all right, and they will be able to get here and settle down, and everything will work itself out as it usually does.
Great, thank you very much. Philip?
Thank you. So with regards to the ones who didn't receive it on time or didn't receive it at all, the ones that have been having the problems recently, we should look into what went wrong. Why did it take so long? Why didn't they receive their CAS on time? What happened? So the VP International should look for the answers to this question and maybe learn from that process. So if we know what we did, what happened wrong this year, or where was the problem, we can look into how we can improve it next year, how this is not going to happen again, because 150 students is a lot of students who, as Nashwa said, and as everybody understands, this is a very nerve-wracking process, because without that they can't even come to the UK, they can't get the visa. So we need to look at the mistakes that have been done and learn from it. We should should create some clear handbook around it as well. If I don't agree with the previous candidates, so see like what is happening, just to inform the students how the process works, and maybe explain where there is a problem, why does it take so long, and also to help them with the mental health support. If they need anything, they already should be able to access all the services before they receive this. So throughout in summer, before they actually come into university, we should direct them to maybe the VP International or maybe SU Advice already, so they can help them with any queries, and just to make sure that they know what's happening. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Dan?
Yes, thank you, Tom. I think the primary thing to do is hold the university accountable for the lack of support and communication in regards to issues like these. We should find ways of scrutinizing the university when they do not show a proper conduct with its students, because we pride ourselves with the idea that we are a family. But in most cases, we are a family only once students have started living on campus. There is a total lack of support for students especially we've seen it this year, for students that do not live on campus, or students that even here live outside of the campus, live in Grinstead, for example. Most services and everything tends to be centered around the campus life. I agree with Nashwa, we should, and Philip has touched upon this as well, but we should provide support for these students well before they actually arrive at Essex, and make a clearer path for them to arrive here. Thank you.
Great, and to finish, UJ?
Yeah. So even I think this is a very big issue since I got my class later pretty late. And because of that, I got my visa pretty late as well. And since that happened, I came like a week or 2 weeks later and I was on the waiting list because since I didn't receive my class later, I couldn't get an accommodation on campus. So when I arrived, I didn't have a place to live. I just came here and I made a friend and we just literally found a place for like a couple months to stay off campus. So I feel like you actually miss a lot just by getting a late class later. And what I would try to do, I think this is very unfair since like I paid a lot more in tuition as well because in my first year, a lot of people got scholarships who had the same kind of grade as well, but I didn't get any scholarships. So I feel like if you actually focus more on solving everything early, everything could go really great. And I would actually what I could do is I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna give my reference if they can't get their class later or if they're having any troubles, they can email me and I'm gonna try my best, give my best to listen to them and solve their issues.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm putting the next question in the chat. Here we are. So it's more of a general question rather than specifically for VP International, but could you tell us about a situation or an experience that made you feel disappointed, sad, or lost of motivation? And how did you turn this into a positive or at least something that you could be a learning experience? So we start the other way around. So you, Jay?
With me? Yeah. So I feel like when I was young, I used to be an introvert. I never used to talk to anyone, just staying in my own corner and had no friends. But I thought I need to change it. And I started going to the gym, working out, focusing on myself, being better than what I was yesterday. So that's what I want to do for everyone as well. And I feel like when you actually have no friends or you just like don't look great in general, you feel like you don't matter. When I just want to say you can do this, you can get through this, and you just need a bit of energy and you just need a bit of push to get there. And I could be the push.
Great, thank you very much. And Dan?
Thank you, Tom. I think the disappointment for me came as a result of the pandemic when everything shut down and people started moving away. And it provided a lot of time for me to reflect on my experience as a student here, an experience that was heavily influenced by me having to work for most of my time here at Essex. I was working 1 or 2 part-time jobs in order to sustain myself here at Essex. And I realized just how much I've lost from my student experience because I wasn't able to go outside and party or interact with as many people as I would have liked, or with as many aspects of the student experience, like sports or things like that. So I was quite disappointed. I felt like I kind of lost on a lot of my student life here. But then later on, I realized that it's those experiences that have resulted in me, the person that I'm here, the way that I think and the way that I act is a direct result of the hardships I had to face. And that because I have lost on so many things, I have gained some other things, other experiences that are tied to me and to who I am. So what I mean to say is that we all have our own path. Thank you.
Great. Philip?
Oh, thank you. I think in this topic, many of us are going to go back to the pandemic. So this is going to be the same for me. It's going to come at the beginning when I felt very disappointed. Everything got cancelled. It was my work. I didn't lose my work. I got on furlough, but it still wasn't exactly what I would imagine it to be. I was. Everybody left. Most of my friends left the UK. I couldn't see my family because they weren't able to travel here, and I wasn't able to travel home. for a long time because the Czech Republic had quite a difficult rule system just to get in at the beginning of the pandemic. And I think that it was a very hard time for me because it just felt everything stopped, and I still had to study. I still had assignments to do. I still had exams to do, and I felt very down and I didn't know what to do. But at that point, I feel like it's going to be very similar to what Dan said. It just gets you thinking about like what is the most important thing in life. What are the most important things in life? And I was actually glad that I was still healthy. My family was healthy, and I started focusing on something else. Even though there was pandemic, I started looking for part-time jobs and summer jobs. And in the end, I actually succeeded. So I think like what I can say, what I made from that experience, that we can't just give up just because of everything is happening outside. We should go on and try to find a way how to make our life better at the moment. So yeah, I would feel just like that. Don't give up even the worst time. Just go on and find a way how to succeed.
Great. Nashwa?
Hi. So, well, I don't mean to get so personal, but there's nothing that I can think of that's more true to myself than this, really. And it's that when I was in first year, I lost my dad to like a heart attack, and it was very sudden and out of nowhere right before exam season. And I think from that, what I had two things that I really took out of it. One is that, well, before any of that, is that grief is just a process that you're constantly going through, and that's what I've truly learned more than anything. But the first thing was that I ended up finding the foundation Let's Talk About Loss. So I met with the founder called Beth and realized that there wasn't a meetup group that existed for Essex people and things like that. And I knew that there would be so many people in the Essex area that are going through the same thing and would need that support that is more on like a smaller group basis. So I'm for the last year now, I've been one of the co-hosts for the Essex meetup group. And what we do is we meet up, we talk about grief, and we are able to kind of support each other and provide this really safe environment where we're able to talk about these kinds of things. I think it's been such a learning experience where I was able to make that initiative and be able to jump into the deep end and be able to provide a platform for people that are going through the same thing. That has made the grief a lot easier to deal with. Another positive that I've taken out of it is that I knew that the reason I'm at uni is because my dad sacrificed a lot of things for me to be here. So making sure that he used that as my motivation to always get involved in things and to constantly be working and studying and focusing on my education more than anything has been my motivation and drive to get through to through the pandemic, through absolutely everything since I've been at university. And I think that's kind of been the biggest learning experience I've ever experienced in my life.
Great, thank you. Kanil?
As if I landed over here, I face 2 lockdowns and try to apply as many as possible job. So in that process, I lose motivation because I didn't found a single job, and also I can't focus on studies and other things because I'm not kind of person who studies online. But after some point, I realized that it is not fair. After that, I push myself, self and try to get harder and try to study all the thing. And right now, I'm in position I'm get a good grade in last term, and moreover I participate in WIP International, which is not my kind because I am an introvert person. So that's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And Yishan?
All right, thank you, Tom. So basically just what everyone say, during the pandemic, a lot of people do not come back to UK, and last year October, I was the only one here, so I feel lonely here and I have no one to talk to. But then I feel like I can't keep going, I can't keep feeling this way. So basically I started going to YouTube and search for, I don't know, cooking workshop, all that. And also I started watching the fitness workout videos and I actually lost like, I don't know, 10 kg this 10 kg for in 6 months, I think. And yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And final question, more related to your role. So here it is. So how should next year's VP International support international students with the distress caused by COVID-19 and the challenges set by Brexit? So we'll start with the end. So Yishan. I know, good question, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure where to start though. Okay, can I skip it? Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Yes, you can. Camille, then. Camille, do you want to answer the question, please?
As this state of COVID, we can't do any more thing but as vaccination is on rolling, we should hope for best. And Brexit is come with opportunity. If you think now there is inequality of international student. If you think European Union student, which are also abroad student, are separated from international, and all other part of world are separated. As we got more international student, and yeah, many things more with explore. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Nashwa?
Yeah, so an important thing to note is that getting the role as VP International would mean that you're working within a team, and it's important to remember that you're working with the sabbaticals. And although you have a single job and everyone works in their own departments, it's very important to remember the interconnectedness between the different SABs and how there is such an overlap of positions. So this question, for example, would have such a huge overlap with the VP welfare, for example, where you're making sure that, to remember that COVID is going to have a long-lasting impact on the students. People have suffered from mental health. People have really had, there's so much change that everyone's gone through in the last year, and no one can deny that, no matter what it was. And so it's important that there is a lot of collaboration on the team to make sure that you're working with the VP Education, for example, to make sure students are still able to take the time and have even extenuating circumstances with no evidence going on even to next year, because students still have these issues and are still facing the mental health issues and things like that. It's important to make sure that there is this collaboration within the whole team, and that there is constant communication where international student issues, for example, you're focusing on them within the other sabbatical officers' roles, and there's this constant communication going on. And I think would be so important to acknowledge that and remember that the students are going to need a lot of support, whether it's providing these open sessions where you can come in and just have a chat with the VP International and talk about your issues, or whether there are sort of support groups created as a post-COVID kind of situation. I think there's a lot, we have to be adaptable and be very ready to whatever happens at the start of next year, because there could be so many options of what really happens. And I think that's the important part, is to make sure that we're always thinking on our feet and that we're ready to take on any challenges that do come up. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Philip?
Thank you. So I think what we need to realize that with even if we open up after COVID, it's not all the problems that we have accumulated from this time and the problems from before, they're not just going to disappear because COVID disappeared, right? So as a VP International, it's going to be very important for you to listen to international students and to give them a lot of guidance. How is it to come to the university? So provide them guidance, for example, with the CAS letter, so they are not so stressed before coming here. But provide them guidance on the housing in the UK. Definitely mental health, which is still going to be a problem at the time, as it always is. There needs to be clear guidance how to help them. I really like the idea about the open sessions, just to speak to people, make yourself available for students to contact you via email or any other platform as well. And also working with all the sabbatical teams, because the COVID and Brexit is not only for the international students, right? So COVID has affected us all. We need to work together to get back to normal. It's not going to be easy. Many of us spent months and months at home. Many students will have problems getting out of lockdowns because COVID is most probably still going to be here. There's just going to be less of it. They might still be afraid of going out and to meeting people. We need to tackle this through talking to them and providing a proper guidance on that. And yeah, I think that's all from me.
Great, thank you. And Dan?
Yeah, thank you. So with everything that's been happening, we are sure that next year is going to look a lot different. We'll be sailing some new waters, and we should be ready for anything that can happen. I can already see a shift in the numbers from the different cultural societies, because of the lack of support from the English government towards Europeans. Many students who come here are coming from families that would not normally be able to support a student coming to England and studying here. So as Nasha said, we have to think on our feet. We should be ready to approach any challenge that's gonna come at us. And as she said, we need to work together and make sure we come on top. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And you, Jay?
Yeah. So one of all these distress which was caused by COVID-19 among people now who have been stuck at home just made them more eager to go out now. And when it does happen, assuming it does, I'm gonna try to make things more fun and ask them, as Philip said, ask them what I can do and be open to suggestions. Make them listen, make them being heard. And about Brexit, the challenges, one of them would be about jobs, I could say. And what I would do, I would try to do is make them easier to set businesses among international communities. Since we're such a big international community at Essex, we could do a big international business among each other and create more jobs among students. And make it just interesting for everything is all, and try to help them financially on the same side.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's the wrap up for the questions. So just generally, just to let you know, obviously voting starts on the 10th at 10 a.m. We have 6 candidates here today, but Ahmed was not able to be here today and will be asked the same questions and will have the same amount of time to be able to answer them. And there is also the candidate Ron, which is reopened for nominations, which is a candidate in itself. So I'm going to ask all the candidates to have a final minute to say why we should vote for them, and then we'll wrap things up. So UJ, do you want to get started? You're on mute, UJ.
I think I should be voted because I'm a people's person. I like to listen to people, and if they're ready to speak to me, I'm ready to speak for them. I just ask for a chance, and if they can give me the chance, they won't be disappointed, is all.
Okay, thank you. And Dan?
Yes, so I am generally someone that is engaged in coming up with creative ideas on how to tackle different issues. I am an outgoing person. I am always looking to connect with people. So if you vote for me, I will make sure that I am going to use my knowledges and my openness to make everything more appealing. Yeah, thank you.
And Philip?
Thank you. I believe that next year it's going to be very different from now. But it's still going to be very challenging. There's going to be the challenging that are persevering, like quality of teaching and value or money for accommodation. There's going to be problems with mental health and then getting used to back to a normal life or to a new normal life if it's going to be a bit different. I believe I have shown you today that I have both experience and skill set that I can bring to the role, and I know the SU and I know how to put things in motion. I'm a hardworking individual. I'm not afraid of challenges. I've faced so many challenges throughout the university, and I've always fought them, and so far I've always won. I hope that if you give me a chance, I'll be able to fight for you again and to help you to make our experiences at XX much better again. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Nashwa?
Hey, so I see the role as having almost like 3 different positions where like you're as VP International managing the big plan, and with that I know that I will be able to really gel together the sabbatical team as a person. I've demonstrated that I have the experience and the skills, and I hope that I've shown you guys my creativity and already initiative that I would bring into the role. I've got all the skills and I'm the most experienced person for this, and I really care more than anything. I've built myself up into this position, and I know that I would just have the easiest transition into it, and I will be you guys' friend. I'll help you make a home out of Essex, and if not, find your home while you're here at the university. And yeah, I truly care, and I want to make sure that we're bringing everyone back together, we're connecting everyone back together, and that international students are not going to be overlooked anymore. Thank you very much. I hope you vote for me.
Thank you very much. And Kanil?
So as I experience a lot of things over here, bad and good. So I want to be a person who don't want to be a bad experience over here. So vote for change. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to finish, Yishan?
All right, thank you, Tom. So due to my past experience, I believe that I have the skill needed and I have the skill required for this role. And as you can tell, I'm someone that doesn't like to answer, like, I don't know. I'm not someone that talkative, and also I'm more of a doing person than a talking person. So if you give me a chance, I'll do my best. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the candidates for coming, and thank you to the audience for joining and sending in questions. Don't forget to vote, and please do join us for future debates. We've got another few to go before the presidential debate on Friday, and obviously everything is presented to you by Rebel and SU. So thank you everyone for coming. I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, everyone.